Mercedes will dominate the 2023 season. And this is why. One of the major talking points of the current Formula 1 season has been Mercedes' inability to compete with the Ferrari and Red Bull. But why is the team so far behind? Well, throughout pre-season testing, Mercedes warned the Formula 1 world that it was falling behind due to the difficult birth of the W14. But the team had done this regularly during testing, frequently showing up to the first race and going 1-2 on the grid. But why did Mercedes perform so poorly in F1 in 2022? Is it something that the team can work on? Well, in this video we are going to look at why Mercedes will dominate the 2023 season. Welcome back to F1 Unlimited. Race to the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and do give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it, as well as turning on the bell icon to receive notifications about upcoming videos. Without further ado, let's start our video. Why did Mercedes fail in F1 2022? The bouncing that has harmed the car is the underlying reason for Mercedes' struggles in the new F1 season. The ground effect has returned to F1 after decades away as part of the latest technical rules. To create downforce, you want to keep your automobile as close to the track as possible. However, as the Mercedes gains downforce at high speeds, its ride height decreases. It reduces airflow beneath the car, causing it to rise somewhat. The vehicle then lowers again as it picks more downforce, restarting this cycle. It is also referred to as porpoising. What can they do? Mercedes believes its zero-side pod design machine has some underlying raw speed if they can release it. In Bahrain, the team salvaged a 3-4 finish after the Red Bull duo retired late, despite being 40 seconds behind the leaders when the safety car was called following Pierre Gasly's violent exit. In Saudi Arabia, Hamilton qualified 16th, his worst result on pure pace since 19th at the 2009 British Grand Prix, whilst Russell finished 6th after the 7th-time champion struggled with a loose rear end due to the setup alterations. Russell was a lonely 5th on race day as the Ferraris and Red Bulls cleared off, whilst Hamilton could only manage 10th. It is the first time in his Mercedes career that he has finished in the top 10 and the first time since the 2012 Korean Grand Prix. To stop the W13 from bouncing, Mercedes may adjust the ride height. However, doing so would result in even more performance loss, as a lower ride height is essential for a faster lap time. The team claims it will return to the front and compete for victories, and it most likely will. However, it is not a flash in the pan, as it could be too far behind Red Bull and Ferrari in both championships by the time the W13 starts to behave. This is a challenging fix, with the team believing it will take several races to reverse the situation. Mercedes has delivered a steady series of changes to increase the W13's performance, with the latest being a new front wing that debuted at the last weekend's Mexican Grand Prix after being tweaked to make it legal. It has only scored 10 points fewer than Ferrari in the second half of the season, but the team believes it is still suffering from a mistake that dates back to the end of last year and is only discovered during the post-race investigation of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in June. It is no wonder that Mercedes has hinted at a concept shift for next year. However, this might go beyond shifting away from its unique zero-side pod design. Quote, "I believe the DNA of the car will alter for next year," end quote, Mercedes team chief Toto Wolff remarked. He continues on to say, "It doesn't necessarily imply that the bodywork will look different drastically, but what is part of the car's DNA will alter for next year," end quote. This might be a significant alteration that goes well beyond the side pod notion and instead addresses the car's core architecture, its suspension and underfloor. Mercedes' primary issue in 2022 has been its rear suspension setup, which prohibits the team from running the W13 at the optimal ride height without the bouncing issues that caused back and chest aches earlier in the season. Some of the upgrades Mercedes has made to the W13 will be obsolete for the 2023 design, not only due to the potential change in concept for next year, but also due to the new floor rules that change the aerodynamic demands and thus necessitate a different solution. However, Mercedes is still in the period of trying to learn from every update it introduces, understanding that a complete concept change mid-season in the cost cap era would be impossible. Wholesale car concept modifications were previously feasible for teams, but with the new aerodynamic testing allowances constraints and the cost cap, which will be further reduced next year, Mercedes was forced to wait until 2023 for a real update. It at least benefited from a higher ATA in the second half of 2022 after the percentages were reset midway through the season, when Mercedes was third in the Constructors' title behind Ferrari and Red Bull as it is now. This advantage will assist Mercedes in recouping what it says is a 10-month loss due to key competitors, but it remains to be seen whether the design chosen will be the right one. According to the logic and look back at the convergence in the years following significant F1 rule changes, Mercedes will bring its car concept closer to the team with the most excellent solution to F1's new restrictions, Red Bull, but we won't for sure know until the car gets back on track in Bahrain in February. And with that said, that concludes today's video. Is the modification sufficient for Mercedes to grab the title? Comment your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and thanks for watching F1 Unlimited. We'll see you in the next video.